Hi guys, welcome to a new reaction. For those who don't know, I love Place Rabbit and English is not my first language, so please be patient with me, okay? I'm learning. If you want, try to help me in the commentaries, I'd be glad, thank you. And today I'm going to react to the story of League of Legends Explained. The story of League of Legends Explained. Wow, okay. Sorry about that. Okay, and yeah, I go to react a little about the story because I watched some of the musics, some of the cinematics, yeah, cinematics, but I don't know nothing about the story of this universe, so I want to know a little more about the story of this universe, and yeah. So I find this video, I really see a lot of people react to this video, so I hope I have no problems to this, but if somehow I have a problem, this video get out, it's because I have a problem, okay? And yeah, so I will try to understand a little more about this universe and about the champions. So I think I'm going to start to make more reactions about the lore of League of Legends. I already do about Warhammer 40k if you don't know. So, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Tell me in the comments if you like this. Okay, if you like to me react to the if you like to me to react to the lore of this universe and of the champions, okay? So I can learn and understand a little more about this. So yeah, I think I said a lot. Oh, this video is not a substitute for the original video, so I'm going to stop it. I'm going to speak a lot, okay? And I'm going to have a lot of questions. That is for sure. I'm going to have a lot of questions. So if you want to see this video, no pausings, no going backs, no discussions, please go to the original channel and watch, okay, the original video. The link of the video and the link of the channel going to be in the description. Okay, sorry about that. Necrit, I don't know if the name of the channel, but yeah. Go to this channel too, the link is going to be in the description. And Necrit, I don't know if I said your name right. If somehow you don't like me to make a reaction of your videos, please tell me, okay? I'm going to take it off, it's completely okay. So yeah, let's start it, okay? Oh, if for those who don't know, I start to make lives on Twitch, doing gameplays. It's not every day. I don't know the hours in the days yet. I try to find the better day, the better hour. So going to my my Twitter, so you can, I'm going to post that when I start to make lives, okay? So yeah, I think I said everything. Yeah. Let's start. I said speak a lot. Okay, let's start it. Necrit. I don't know if sorry.
The two most popular questions I get asked are: is the lore of League of Legends good? To which I say that we have a lore channel with over 500.
Wait, let me take off the subtitles because I cannot see the thing.
Videos now. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't like the story. And I want to read the story, but I don't know where to start. And
yeah,
that is a very hard question to answer. Because quite frankly, you can start anywhere you want. All of Riot stories are written in a way where no matter what story you read, all of the information you need to understand it is somehow put in there. For example, if you are interested in Ionia, you can read about any champion in any order you want. But some characters talk about certain events more than others. Some champions like Riven or Master Yi explain the Noxian chemical warfare, but they still at least mention the main battle at the Placidium. Other champions like Irelia or Karma explain the main battle at the Placidium, but they only hint at the chemical warfare. So basically, all the stories contain all the information you need, so you are never left confused. But I understand that simply telling you that you can read whatever you want is not a good answer. After all, League of Legends does have its main storyline.
Now look at the map.
Despite there being more than 145 champions, all with their...
I already saw the map before. And yeah, that's why I know some names of some places. I decided to do that because I watch Arcane. Arcane was the door, was open the door to me to this universe. So yeah,
their own unique stories.
I really hope that the second season get out very soon.
There is an overarching plotline that serves as the real story above all the others. And today we will talk about exactly that. It wasn't an easy task, but I managed to put together the complete story of the main events that affected the universe of League of Legends. The way I did it was simple. I read a lot. All the information you're about to hear can be found in various stories and champion bios. But just like you have item descriptions or journal logs in other games, League is also hiding tiny pieces of information in places you wouldn't expect. You can actually get a lot of new hidden information by cross-referencing different champion stories. The way it works is that you usually have two champions.
So it's like a puzzle. You need to find the pieces. There's a lot of pieces you need to put together.
From the other side of the world, pointing at different mysteries. But when you realize that they are actually pointing at the same thing, you discover something massive. So with all of that said, keep in mind that the story of Runeterra can still get expanded upon. So in the future, some of the things we mentioned here may be already explained and things might be slightly different. In fact, I would say that about 15% of this video is sourced from those tiny pieces of information. However, what I'm about to show you right now is still the closest thing we can get to covering the entire storyline of League of Legends. But enough about unnecessary explanations. Finally, without further ado, let's get into the main storyline of League of Legends. Let's start at the very beginning. In the ages before time was even a concept, there was nothing. Or at least that's what the things inside the nothing thought. You see, since the beginning of time, there were always the Watchers. They are these nightmarish shapeless creatures that drifted in the absolute darkness of the universe. The thing is that the universe was so dark and empty, the Watchers themselves didn't even know they existed. There was nothing to see and nothing to feel. There was nothing to show them that they actually lived. But that all changed when a tiny spark of light appeared in the empty cosmos. Suddenly the Watchers realized they could see. Not only that, they realized that they are conscious beings with senses. Just like that, the spark of light woke up the Watchers from their eternal sleep. Naturally, the Watchers were quite annoyed at the tiny spark. Up until now, everything was peaceful and quiet. But this spark was...
they are asleep. Why? Somehow someone opened the window. What happened? Let me sleep a little more. What is going on? I'm sorry. That's what I understand from this.
Blinding them, and it was ruining their slumber. When they drifted closer to inspect the light, the Watchers found out that the tiny spark was in fact a window into reality.
You see? A window. It's not bad when you sleep, you have a good dream, and then someone opened a window. I understand these Watchers, I understand them, why they are so mad.
Inside the reality, dragons of twilight, cosmic beings, and even death itself came to be, and they roamed around the empty space. Some, like Aurelian souls, spread light around. They left little pieces of themselves behind, which created stars. And with a little help from cosmic dust, planets formed around these stars.
So, Aurelian soul is a champion, right?
The absolute majority of these newborn worlds were empty, but sometimes there was life. The one planet that we know about is Runeterra. Now, Runeterra wasn't shaped by accident. The Celestials created this world with the use of the world runes, hence the name Runeterra. But while that was happening, the Watchers observed it all from afar. It didn't take long before the celestial beings became...
So this world to the
With
waters.
the use of the world runes, hence the name
Wood runes. Oh, okay.
Runeterra. But
Runeterra. Okay,
while
okay,
that was
okay.
happening, the Watchers observed it all from afar.
I'm sorry if I don't speak a lot, if I don't put more in this video, it's because I don't know nothing, so I'm learning here, okay?
It didn't take long before the celestial beings became aware of them. They knew that something was overlooking their realm, and they knew it was more powerful than anything in their reality. Now don't take this information for granted. Technically it should be considered a theory, but it is believed that the Celestials created Runeterra to host an army of powerful beings that would defend reality against the Watchers. This
Okay,
was never directly
this is a theory.
confirmed, but as you'll see from the rest of the story, that is highly likely what happened here. Anyway, the planet was created and the Celestials were paying close attention to its development. This is likely the time when Ornn, Anivia, Volibear and the Seal Sister appeared on Runeterra. It is theorized that the Celestials put them there to
Who?
Celestials were paying close attention to its development. This is likely the time when Ornn, Anivia, Volibear and the Seal Sister appeared on Runeterra. It is theorized that the Celestials put them there to terraform the planet. The only thing that we get confirmed is that according to his legend, Ornn did actually shape the mountains of Freljord. However, after a mysterious disaster, the world runes that created this world were lost and scattered across the same planet. This is likely the reason why Runeterra is a magical world full of spirits. It is likely because the world runes slowly radiated magic into the surrounding lands.
So the magic is in the world is because these runes? How is it again?
Disaster, the world runes that created
the word runes. I'm sorry if I don't speak it very well. I'm really sorry about that.
The world were lost and scattered across the same planet. This is likely the reason why Runeterra is a magical world full of spirits. It is likely because the world runes slowly radiated magic into the surrounding lands. Millennia passed and life started blooming on Runeterra. First it was Yordles, animals and the Vastaya Shirei who started appearing on the ocean floor. But humans later joined them when they started covering the surface. This was very important to the Celestials. As mortals began emerging, the Celestials started fiddling with their lives. In fact, according to the Celestials, they had some kind of grand design for the mortals. The story specifically avoids telling us what the design was, but at least we know that living beings had a purpose. The evolution of life wasn't an accident. To strengthen the relationship between the Celestials and the mortals of Runeterra, the Celestials did two things. First, they created star constellations. These were images that served as messages to guide mortals to their intended purpose. It was an easy way to communicate with them. And second, the
constellations,
created Mount Dargon. An interesting fact is that the mountain was literally ripped from the ground. It is as if someone pinched the earth and pulled it up. That's why it is much steeper than any other mountain. Also, you may notice that a lot of the mountain surface is covered in ice. Partially, it is because it is really cold up there. But it's also because as the mountain was being pulled up, it was also dragging lakes and rivers with it. So a lot of the ice is vertically frozen lakes stuck to the mountain. And Mount Dargon was a pretty successful invention. It served as a beacon of godly light and magic that attracted beings from all over the world. The more advanced mortals even formed their own civilization around its peak, which gave them a deeper connection with the celestial realm.
You see how I really like these games? They have so much story on them.
And
I heard they want to make a MMO of League of Legends world. I really hope they put all of this story, all this world creation thing on this MMO game. I don't know if I have. I just heard if they have. They started doing the game, but I don't know nothing about the game. I don't know if they have a gameplay or something. I think not. I think it's gonna take a long time until they show you something. But I'm going to try to find out.
After some time, few of the most trusted individuals were elevated by the Celestials, specifically by the Celestial aspects, creating the very first ascended beings. But the Celestials weren't the only ones who were strengthening their control over the life on Runeterra. The Watchers were doing the same. They were carefully poking holes into reality, gathering any information about what the reality is, and more specifically, how can they get rid of it. The Celestials noticed these holes in realities that we know as void rifts, and they quickly moved to the next stage of controlling Runeterra. Now it was about this time when Aurelian Sol flew by and he noticed how much the life on Runeterra bloomed. And when he got closer, he noticed that all the tiny mortals looked up at him, and they worshipped him. Now this Aurelian didn't mind at all, and he often came back to visit Runeterra between his journeys into the dark. At one point, the mortal community up on the mountain, who were now known as the Targonians, offered Aurelian Sol a crown. Aurelian of course appreciated the gesture of gratitude, and he happily put it on. But as he did that, he willingly chained himself to the planet, because the crown bound Aurelian to the will of the ascended Targonians. Aurelian Sol was now enslaved. We don't really know if it was just the Targonians who did this on their own, or if it was a plan of the celestial beings to enslave Aurelian Sol. But either way, the reason why Aurelian Sol was enslaved was because he was powerful enough to seal the void rifts. He was an effective weapon against the grand enemy. Aurelian had a massive ego and he couldn't care less about the lives of mortals, so that's why he had to be forced to properly help the reality.
Okay. So he didn't care, so they forced him. But it's not right to do that.
At this point,
I don't like that.
the Watchers were at their limits. They wanted to learn more about Runeterra, but they were massive, and the rifts were tiny. The Watchers simply couldn't fit through. But it didn't take them too long to figure out that all they needed to do was to reach a mortal being and control it. If they corrupted something and sent it out, they could use it as a spy. So the way the Watchers gathered more information more effectively was by sending out horribly morphed beings to devour other beings and gather their information. The reason why information is so important to the Watchers is because they could easily use it as a weapon against Runeterra. The more they learn about how living beings are constructed,
how much more they know about your enemy, better, right? Information is everything.
And what living beings are the strongest, the more powerful voidborn creatures they can create and release through the rifts. But the
what?
Runeterra. The more they learn about how living beings are constructed and what living beings are the strongest, the more powerful voidborn creatures they can create and release.
More they learn, more they know how to create their own things.
But the Watchers realized that deconstructing and recreating beings is not the only way to win this war. Up in Freljord, they were playing a different game. They managed to slowly corrupt the mind of an individual that almost doomed the entire planet. Of course, we're talking about Lysandra. Lysandra was one of the 3 sisters that ruled Freljord.
Yeah, I remember, I think I saw, was the first video I saw about her, right?
The second most powerful region at that time, right after Targon. The 3 sisters were Lysandra.
The first cinematic, sorry, not trailer, cinematic I saw. The first reaction I made is what was about her, right?
Sorilda and Avarosa. And all of them were drawn to celestial magic. Sorilda wanted to command the celestial heavens, but for her arrogance, she lost her voice to the first twilight. Avarosa witnessed the twisting dark overlooking the world, and she was deafened by its complete emptiness. And Lysandra disrespected the wild magic of Runeterra, and as her punishment, she was blinded by Volibear. Together, one blind, one deaf, and one mute, the 3 sisters ruled Freljord. Since she was blind, Lysandra had to rely on her hearing and delving into dreams. This meant that over time her hearing was so good she could hear what others could not. Voices that echoed through the fabric of reality. Unfortunately, what she didn't know is that it was the Watchers who slowly corrupted her. Years passed and Lysandra now fully trusted the Watchers. But she didn't dare to...
People, don't believe when you hear her voices, nobody else can hear, okay? Just a little tip. Don't if you start to hear voices from things are not there, better ask for help.
Tell her sisters about them.
Look what happened here.
In secret, Lysandra even struck a deal with the Watchers. The Watchers would give her people near immortality. This power of immortality is what created the Iceborn, who are basically Freljordians touched by the power of the Void. And in
wait, let me go back.
The Watchers would give her people near immortality. This power of immortality is what created the Iceborn, who are basically Freljordians touched by the power of the Void. And in
the Iceborn,
return, all the Watchers wanted was a safe place to rest when they visit their world. To Lysandra, this was an offering she couldn't decline, and so she accepted the terms on her sister's behalf. More years later, when the Freljord was ready for the Watchers, Without a warning, they started emerging from the abyss, revealing
Oh,
Lysandra's
okay.
hidden allegiance. Unfortunately, their horrible twisted forms were not what Lysandra expected, and
Oh,
she
okay.
realized the grave mistake she had made.
Wait, but she's not blind? How she can see how deformed they are? She can feel? That is why?
The abyss, revealing Lysandra's hidden allegiance. Unfortunately, their horrible twisted forms were not what Lysandra expected.
She's the blind one, right? Or are you wrong? I don't know.
And she realized the grave mistake she had made. She invited the end itself to their world. At this point, Lysandra had two options. Let the world be consumed, or sacrifice everything she had ever had. And so, using her iceborne powers, Lysandra managed to freeze everything and everyone who was present, killing Sorilda and Amarosa in the process. This is how a couple of Watchers got frozen in the Howling Abyss, while the rest escaped. After this defeat, the Watchers retreated, but not without new information.
But not what?
This is how a couple of Watchers got frozen in the Howling Abyss, while
Okay. This Holy Abyss is in the Freyard, right?
the rest escaped. After this defeat,
It's a place in Freyward.
the Watchers retreated, but not without new information. Many decades later, on the other side of the world, the war against the Void took another turn. Even though Dargon had Aurelian's soul under their control, and they dealt with all the easily accessible rifts, sometimes they had to deal with smaller tears in reality that couldn't be accessed by a massive celestial dragon. That's why the Celestials had to nudge mortals to start a new empire. This time, more to the east. Under the guidance of the Celestials, the new Shuriman Empire began constructing a massive disk in Nerimazeth. Using this disk, they attempted to channel celestial powers into their chosen soldiers. But the experiment failed and the disk was destroyed. Later, they made another attempt at this more to the east. This time they constructed a much bigger sun disk that would create super soldiers.
Oh, I remember. Oh, yeah, I remember this. I saw this in one of the trailers. Azir, right? I know because I really love his song. Azir, right? Yeah, I think so.
Capable of fighting back the Void. These soldiers would get many different names. Gold Warriors, Golden Warriors, Sunborn, but we know them as Shuriman Ascended. Here we need to mention three very important individuals that play a big role in this war. Azir became the greatest leader of
Azir, you know, I knew this.
The Empire and the Grand Leader of the Ascended. He was loved by pretty much everyone, but keep in mind that he was still a human. He became Ascended much later. Nasus
I seen the video.
Wisest of the Ascended.
He was dead and then was revived by the blood of one of his descendants, right? I think if I remember right.
His knowledge of war tech
look like I learned something for the cinematics, huh?
would become irreplaceable. And the third important wisest of that he was still a human. He became Ascended much later. Nasus became the wisest of the Ascended. His knowledge of war tactics would become irreplaceable. And the third important
this is a little like a Egyptian vibe, right? This look like a little, I forgot the name. Anubis, yes. So they have a little Egyptian vibe here.
She became the war commander of the Ascended host, and she was the deadliest of all the Ascended. As the Empire was growing and the number of their god warriors was expanding, other nations became suppressed, and some even feared the unstoppable army of Shurima. One such nation was the Kingdom of Icathia. Their leader, the infamous Mage King, had enough of cowering before their might, so he went to war against Azir. Now the Mage King knew his small kingdom of mages would not stand a chance against the Ascended, so he called upon a power greater than what the Sun Disk could offer. He called upon the Void. During the battle for Icathia, a massive void rift consumed the kingdom, and after hundreds of years of observing, the Watchers had another chance to silence all reality. Using their previously gathered knowledge, the Watchers corrupted everything they touched, and they created new voidborn abomination the world had never seen. This was a war on a scale nobody expected. But after many sacrifices, including Setaka, who died while being torn apart by these abominations, the Ascended won by
I don't know who that is. Setaka? Setaka?
This was a war on a scale nobody expected. But after many sacrifices, including Setaka, who died while being torn apart by these abominations, the Ascended won, but at a great cost. Not only was the rift in Icathia so big that even today it is
important. Someone important I'm missing? Setaka? Setaka? I hope I said that right. Is someone important and I'm missing information?
Still not fully sealed, but most of those who survived were permanently marked by the Void. Before this battle, the Watchers have never even seen a God Warrior before, so they weren't able to fully corrupt anyone. But their mark was enough to leave a tiny whispering voice in everyone's mind. Thankfully, even though their war commander Setaka was dead, Azir and Nasus remained
it was the war commander of this.
Untouched by the Void, and they kept all the Void-touched warriors.
It's Ascendants. I don't know. Ascendants? I don't know. It was the leader of them.
Under control. Of course, it didn't stay that way forever. Zerath, Azir's slave, who was dead, Azir and Nasus remained untouched by the Void, and they kept all the Void-touched warriors under control. Of course, it didn't stay that way forever. Zerath, Azir's slave, who was also his best friend and a guide.
Yeah, his slave, best friend. I don't know, something's wrong in this lore.
Saw him as a naive emperor. Everyone saw Azir as a kind-hearted leader, but there were still countless slaves dying under his rule. Now, secretly, Azir was planning to free all the slaves on the day of his ascension.
Yeah, but he did this.
It was meant to be a big surprise to everyone, including Zerath. But when the day arrived, Zerath became jealous of the power Azir would get. So Zerath pushed Azir from the ascension sunlight, and he drained all the power of the Sun Disk himself. This led to Azir's death and the destruction of the capital city. But what's worse, it also left all the Void-touched Ascended without a leader to keep them under control. The only one who could do something about this was Nasus. He was wise, but more importantly, he was not touched by the Void. However, keeping
so he's not crazy.
So many corrupted Ascended in line was an impossible task even for him. And eventually it was so dangerous, Nasus had to go into hiding. This meant that the Ascended warrior...
Wait.
This was Nasus. He was wise, but more importantly, he was not touched by the Void. However, keeping so many corrupted Ascended in line was an impossible task even for him. And eventually it was so dangerous, Nasus had to go into hiding.
He was... Wait.
Task touched by the Void. Something about this was Nasus. He was wise.
He was wise. Oh wait, I have a bunch of powerful beings here I need to control. You know what? I run. The wisest one. The wise one. Yeah. I know a lot of people going to be mad of me because I said that.
Nasus had to go into hiding. This meant that the Ascended warriors, now without a leader or purpose, and with tingling void whispers in their minds,
I'm kidding, okay guys, I'm kidding, don't be mad of me, okay?
went absolutely insane. Instead of being seen as godly beings, the Ascended slowly turned into brutal warlords. They fought each other, sometimes to gain more power, sometimes to settle their differences. Eventually, they figured out how to control the whispers in their mind, and they created a brand new kind of magic. Blood magic, which they used to reshape and improve their
blood
bodies.
magic.
Soon, the Ascended warriors were known as the Darkin, and this era would become
The
known as the
Darkin.
Great Darkin War. During these times, the entire world was in conflict, as the Darkin conquered as much land for themselves as they could. While all of this was happening, the Celestials watched it all. Their warriors who were supposed to fight back the Void were now fighting each other, and they were more dangerous to the mortals than the Watchers themselves. So the Celestials had to remove them. The simplest way to do so was to send the aspect of Twilight to Shurima. There she would teach mortals how to seal the Darkin inside their weapons. It took a couple of years, but in the end, the surviving Shurimans together with the Targonian aspect sealed all the remaining Darkin. And
so they get sealed in weapons? These gods things?
finally,
These darkings, right?
the world saw peace again. For a while anyway. If we look back at what just happened,
I'm sorry if I don't speak a lot, I don't understand everything, okay?
this entire Shuriman experiment was a massive loss for the Celestials.
No It'll work very well, huh?
wanted to have an
Didn't work very well.
army to fight the void, but instead they ended up with the biggest void rift they have ever seen. So the Celestials
really?
needed an entirely new plan. But before they could figure something out, mortals took their fate into their own hands. Possibly in the worst way imaginable. You see, now that the Darkin were gone and the world was left in utter ruins, even the simplest man could become a king by simply scavenging whatever he could. And that's exactly what came next. The Age of Men. The first to step up was Mordekaiser. He was a brutal warlord king who easily swept across Valoran and conquered the entire continent. Only when the rest of the world united against him was his dark reign ended. Fast forward a couple of years and
wait, what happened? What? What was his name?
next, the Age of Men. The first to step up was Mordekaiser. He was a
Mordekaiser,
brutal warlord
okay.
king who easily swept across Valoran and conquered the entire continent. Only when the rest of the world united against him was
Oh, so the entire world unite against him. Okay.
his dark reign ended. Fast forward
Mordekaiser, right?
a couple of years
Mordekaiser.
and the
Okay.
world was simply at
I will try to remember. I very bad to remember names of things. Okay. So I just say right now the beginning, so everyone knows. I really bad to remember names. So be patient with me, okay?
war again. But this war was unlike any other. Remember when the Celestials lost the world runes at the beginning of the story?
Yeah.
Well, mortals began
I remember.
uncovering them. Random mages around the world held stones with the power to create worlds. It was pretty much the equivalent to holding a nuke. This sounds scary, but everything was fine as long as people were just threatening to fire the nukes. But once the first nuke was fired, the second followed, and then the third, and the fourth. While the Celestials were trying to come up with a new plan, mortals literally set the world on fire. This conflict became known as the Rune Wars. Sometimes Celestials managed to calm down some of the conflicts. Usually this was done with the help of the Targonian aspects, or with the help of Bard. Bard is a Celestial who specifically comes down on Runeterra to take powerful magical items away from mortals, just so they won't use them in another war. The last time we saw Bard was during the battle for Bard Mountain, in Ionia, where he took away this magical egg. Later Celestials even tried to create more constellations to show people more messages. But at this point, mortal minds were too primitive, and they usually thought it was signs of doom. But sometimes even mortals helped. On the Blessed Isles there was a cult of mages dedicated to collecting the world runes. They did it to hide them away from other mortals. But even that didn't help. In the end, during this era, the most powerful nations were wiped out. In the east, only Noxus remained, after they wiped out their neighbors. Yes, this circle you see here is actually a crater. There was supposed to be a...
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Damn. The little word rooms, right? Word rooms. I think I said that right. make this great. Sorry.
of their neighbors. Yes, this circle you see here is actually a crater.
So this makes this crater, right?
There was supposed to be another nation here, and in the west,
supposed to be another. Oh, okay.
Demacia was built as a purely anti-magic nation. We know that there are a couple of nations between them. For example, the Arbormar Kingdom, but we don't know much else. This is where the modern lore of League of Legends begins. So if we have a look at the world right now, the Watchers are constantly looking for a way to invade Runeterra because they are annoyed by its existence. The north is hiding a massive void rift frozen beneath the holding abyss. The south has a massive void rift still open there, not big enough to fit a Watcher through,
it's a problem.
but big enough to spawn a void army. The western and eastern Valoran
it's still a problem.
War, the entire Shuriman continent is mostly in ruins, and the Blessed Isles blew up. Only Ionia
blew up.
is somewhat decently holding it.
What happened?
It's mostly in ruins, and the Blessed Isles blew.
Shadow. Oh, I remember Shadow Islands. Wait, why call Blessed Islands? Blessed Islands?
Valoran is at war. The entire Shuriman continent is mostly in ruins, and the Blessed Isles.
Blessed Isles. But it's Shadow Islands. Right that. Maybe it was before where was Blessed Islands and now it's Shadow Islands. I don't know. I don't know, someone explain in the commentaries.
blew up. Only Ionia is somewhat decently holding it together, but Noxus had to screw them up too. Remember when I mentioned that the Celestials had mortals as a part of a bigger design? Again, the Celestials likely created mortal beings to use them all as soldiers in this galactic war. Well,
Okay.
whatever purpose mortals were supposed to have, it is far beyond the Celestial control now.
Okay.
So now, you may be wondering, what happens next? Well,
Yeah.
the main story can go a number of ways. We can learn more about the world runes through the vault in Demacia. Or maybe the Watchers will try to get through the rift in the north. Or the Darkin will try to make a comeback and the Celestials will have to
Also the
ways. We can learn more about the world runes through the vault in Demacia. Or maybe the Watchers will try to get through the rift in the north.
so this rift there in the north, in Freyot, right, is big enough so one of these watchers get out, because I remember he said the other one was big enough. So this one is big enough. It's a giant hole. Yeah, giant rift. Right, the rift. They can pass. Okay.
Or the Darkin will try to make a comeback and the Celestials will have to deal with them again. Riot created a playground where they can do a lot of different things. Just remember, it really doesn't matter where you begin to read. Every champion and every story makes sense on its own, so you can't get lost. If you ask me, start with the stories found on Silas's page. He's a great champion for entering the new lore. He will get you right into the newest conflict. And right after that, maybe have a look at Udyr. I think he will surprise you too. But no matter what you decide to do, just have fun and go for whatever you are interested in. The days of bad lore are gone, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Really? Okay, this video is very interesting. I tried to understand. I'm sorry if I messed up in some parts, if I don't understand some things. I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, wow. I really like this. For me, was really incredible. I start to understand a little more about the universe. I don't know a lot about the champions now yet, but the universe, the main story of this universe, I start to understand. So it's a good beginning. It's a good beginning. I really love this video. I really like them. It was really good, really good. I really hope everyone enjoyed too. If I said something wrong, or if I made something you think you prefer to make better, please tell me in the commentaries. Okay, you think I can make better? I can make better. Please tell me in the commentaries. And yeah, I hope everyone enjoy. If you like, please give me a like. Okay, this will help me a lot. And think you subscribe to my channel if you like it. And yeah, thank you everyone. I hope you have a nice day. Tell me in the commentaries if you want me to continue doing a little more about the lore of the League of Legends, maybe about some champion if you want it, and maybe have a video if you want me to react. Please tell me in the commentaries. And yeah, that's it. I think that's it. Again, thank you everyone if you watch it till here. Thank you. I hope every one of you have a great day, a nice day. And yeah, bye.